Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Southern Germany, close to the Austrian border, declared a state of emergency as a precaution measures to prevent damages in the town. Water levels in the Danube River have reached 10 meters following days of floods in the region. Heavy rainfall forced thousands to leave their homes, with a firefighter dying while trying to rescue trapped residents and 2 more people found dead on Monday. All right, we are joined by DW correspondent Thomas Sparrow. For more on this, Thomas, how common are these flooding events in Germany? Can you just tell us about it? And is it just a one-off?
No, it isn't a one-off. In fact, they are becoming more and more common, with experts stressing that only in the last few months there were 3 major flooding events here in Germany. But it's not only about these events becoming more common, it's also about these events becoming more intense, which is important for authorities to understand that they need to increase the work that they do, on the one hand, in helping those that are particularly affected, for example, now in the southern part of the country. On the other hand, working also on prevention measures. It's important to stress that in the past few years, Germany also saw some very serious flooding events, and as a result, certain measures were put in place to deal with future events like the ones we're seeing now in southern Germany. But according to experts, according to climate activists, much more needs to be done if these kinds of weather events are, on the one hand, to be controlled, and on the other hand, if those who are affected, whenever they happen, are going to receive quick and efficient help.
Okay, Thomas, the situation seems like it's not that good in southern Germany, but what's the government planning to do to help those affected?
So there's obviously the immediate help in trying to help to evacuate those who are still in a serious situation, who can't leave their homes, those who need immediate help. But there's also the medium to long-term planning, in other words, trying to rebuild some of the areas that have been affected, providing the financial means to do so. And then a further element is obviously when it comes to fighting climate change. The government has stressed in the past that it is on track to reach its climate goals for 2030. But climate experts here in Germany have said that they see this differently, that they interpret figures differently, and that they believe that Germany, and in particular the German government, will not reach its climate goals by 2030. This has all meant that climate activists have also put more pressure on the government to not only visit the region and say that more needs to be done, but actually turn those words into concrete action and leave what they describe as symbolic visits to the region. So from all this, you can clearly interpret that it's not only about the immediate help of those affected, but there's also a big debate, a very controversial debate here in Germany when it comes to what the government can do to tackle climate change.
Okay, Thomas, my last question to you before I let you go. Scholz said this was a call to action on the climate crisis. Since you talked about climate goals, is the government meeting its climate goals?
Well, as I stressed, the government believes it is, or at least it is on track to reaching those climate goals if everything continues as planned. But climate experts here in Germany have actually questioned that commitment of the government. And we've also heard only in the last few days activists stressing that much more needs to be done. This is a debate that, by the way, is not new here in Germany, but it does come at a very difficult time for the government. It comes also at a time when there are European elections only around the corner. They begin actually on Thursday and end on Sunday. So this has also put the topic of climate change further up on the agenda for many Germans, and further up on the agenda also for the German government.
All right. Thank you so much, Thomas, for joining in and for your analysis. And the Northeast Indian